How's it going on this glorious Thursday? I mean, Trump just keeps on winning and winning and winning. So, no one wants to be the first state to deny Donald Trump to be on the ballot. They're kind of pushing the can down the road. But Michigan court rejects challenges to Trump's spot on the 2024 primary ballot. Michigan Court of Appeals rejected challenges to prevent Donald Trump from appearing on the state's 2024 primary ballot, considering his role in the Capitol's attack irrelevant. I don't think he really had a role. All he did was told people to come to the people's city to hear him speak. That's all he did. The court upheld two lower courts' rulings without addressing whether Trump's action violated the 14th Amendment of the Insurrection Clause, but he hasn't been convicted of that. They want to say, I know that Roskin, or whatever his name is, says the law doesn't say he has to be convicted, it just has to say that he participated. But if you're participated and it can be proven, why not have the court case to say that his actions violated the 14th Amendment? This is without due process. That's my whole frustration with it. I mean, and I get that he also has cases on this matter as well. But shouldn't we wait until those are heard before just preventing him from being on the ballots? And why wasn't this case heard years ago, like right as he left? I think the timing of it was to keep him occupied, hoping that he wouldn't run or that he would drop out because he's spending all of his time in court. I think that's the real reason for the trials, but that's just my personal opinion. But according to Michigan law, political parties and individual candidates decide who gets to be placed on the primary ballots. Let's see, is there a here, let's click on Detroit. Even though that's not the capital, it's actually Lansing is the capital of Michigan. Michigan court rejects challenges to Trump's spot on the 2024 primary ballot. Kind of a weird sentence, to be honest. Michigan Court of Appeals said Thursday it will not stop former President Donald Trump from appearing on the state's 2024 Republican primary ballot, turning aside challenges from critics who argue his role in the 21 attack on the U.S. Capitol disqualify him. Well, you should have charged him so we had this trial sooner before he ran. That's all I'm saying. If you think he's guilty, if these DAs thinks he's guilty, then charges should have been brought sooner so the court case would have been handled sooner and we could have officially disqualified him. Not wait until he ran, then raid his house, and then bring up these lawsuits. Court affirmed two lower court rulings without determining whether Trump falls under the Insurrection Clause of the Constitution, the 14th Amendment. Once again, you should have charged him in year 22 or 2022, not as he is gearing up for his re-election. Who places on the primary ballot? Who to place on the primary ballot is determined by the political parties and the individual candidates, the appeal court said in a 3-0 opinion. 3-0 opinion. So he's 3-0 in his favor, citing Michigan law. The court further said Trump's possible spot on the general election ballot was not ripe for consideration. The two-sentence clause of the 14th Amendment has been used only a handful of times since the years after the Civil War. Is likely one of the lawsuits challenging Trump eventually will be appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court, which has never ruled on the Insurrection Clause. Michigan court decision was a similar one to the one from Minnesota Supreme Court, which says Trump could stay on the state's primary ballot there because the election is a party-run contest. One in Michigan lawsuit, the anti-Trump plaintiff, including Bob LeBron, a longtime Republican who was a lawyer and political strategist for decades at the State Chamber of Commerce. Just only one comment, Trump 2024. That's fine. Let's see, is there? No, there's nothing on the right, which is funny. It's only 8 articles, 3 from the left. The Associated Press. Nothing on the right. Like I said, this is a big win for Trump. It's glorious to see him winning on these appeals. And like I said, I have no issue him being found guilty, and him being found guilty disqualifies him from the office. I think if he did commit a crime and if they were able to prove it in a court of law, find him guilty, he goes through the appeals and he's still found guilty, then he should be held accountable. My whole issue with holding him accountable is that only he will be held accountable. None of the former presidents will be held accountable. None of the corrupt senators will be held accountable, even though we're starting to see that. You see that with George Santos, and you have that Mendez, I forget his last name, on the Democrat side in the Senate. We do see wins here and there about holding the politicians accountable to corruption, but it's never, the fight is never this drastic. It's not on multi-state levels. It's usually on a state level, and it could be a little bit politically motivated, but who knows? But like I said, I think once all these courts are done and let's say Trump is found guilty, they're not going to go after Biden when he leaves office. They're going to let him retire. Whoever replaces him is probably going to be just as corrupt. They're not going to go after him. They're going to be part of the establishment. That's just my personal opinion. Now, if it turns out Biden leaves office and charges are brought to him for his having classified information back when he was a senator, after he was done with his senatorship, or what you want to call it, I'll be happy to report on that news. I just don't see it happening. But that being said, that is my video for today, and have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.